guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with Internet Estonian. Today we're back in incognito mode with, well, the fancier series for drinking. So, yeah, we had the wine, champagne. Now we're going to see fancy ways to drink them, I guess. I don't know for sure, because I haven't seen this yet. I know there's a new one out on the main channel, but, well, I got to get this one first. So, anyway, let's check it out. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let's go.
Brought to you by Incogni. Alright, we've done theatre, we've done painting, we've done wine, and now it's time to do some drinking stuff in general.
There we go.
And to start, let us learn about the drinking cultures of the world.
Come on, action!
Welcome to my private jet. Come on, kid, I got a lot to teach you about the world. We must learn all of the drinking customs of all the funny foreign places. Starting with where drinking was invented. The country of Uck.
Okay. Whee!
The trick is to jump just before you hit the ground. Observe British people in their natural habitat. Here they do a thing called cheers, where they clink their glasses together before drinking.
Cheers.
The tradition dates back centuries, but the origin, why they started doing it, is somewhat unknown.
I don't know exactly. Huh.
But we have a couple of theories.
Huh?
Theory 1, poisoning.
Oh?
Yes. So imagine a situation like this.
Okay.
Two people who don't trust each other, sitting down together at the pub.
Mm-hmm.
This guy then does something shady to the other guy's drink. Here you go. Did you poison my drink? Me? I would never. Well then, I'll pour a little of mine into yours, and you can pour a little of yours into mine, and we'll both either be totally fine or both totally dead. No, there's no need to do that.
I see.
So that was the initial version, and then eventually they just kind of shortcutted it to, yeah, clink clink, it's fine, I trust you. But that's probably a myth. So, theory number 2, ghosts. Right, in the Middle Ages, people were worried about spooky ghosts and spirits.
AKA very superstitious.
So they do cheers very loudly to scare away the demons. Also, sometimes you'd spill some of your drink onto the table and the floor, and then that was like a little offering to the spirit. But that's probably also not true.
We'll see.
The most likely answer is simply that everyone likes that sound. It's very satisfying. There's more. You know when someone drops a glass and everyone goes kind of silent, like, oh, you fucking idiot. Well, in the UK, instead, everyone goes, way, in celebration, as a way to make fun of you, but also make you feel not so bad. Uh-oh.
So basically, cheering when you break a glass, just like, hey, he did it, he gets to buy another round for the bar! I can imagine, like, some places, like, you break the glass accidentally, be like, my bad. Be like, hey, this guy's buying another round on the house! I can imagine that, you know? Be funny, though, if that's what it led to. Them, like, you break the glass, you have to pay for another round and be like, hey, we're going to on this bandwagon.
The BBC? They have a whole organization for that now? We gotta get out of here. We'll take my private cruise ship. Come to Italy, where they filmed the Mario movie. Let me just park this here.
Oops.
Chat, is this actually real?
Come this way to the Leaning Tower of Pizza, held up by the raw strength of 1,000 tourists posing for photographs. But did you know that Italians, when they say cheers, say chin chin?
Chin?
Now, that is very funny to the Japanese, because in Japanese, chin chin means penis.
Wow.
Germany next. Now here they do Bruderschaft, where you link your arms together when drinking. It's also kind of seen all over the world at weddings in particular, but only the Germans have a name for it. It symbolizes the end of formalities between two people. But the Germans have a lot more. Now, when you clink glasses together with someone, you have to look them directly in the eye.
So stare at them.
And if you don't do it, you will be cursed with 7 years of bad sex, apparently.
Wow.
It's not my fault.
Impotence.
It's the Germans. Then when doing shots in Germany, they sometimes also go Zermit, and you hold the glass near your belly. Zertit, and you hold it near your chest. And then zum sack, and you hold it near
Zap, zap.
your, and then zak zak, and you
Zak,
drink.
zak.
Now, on to Finland. They keep it casual. They have a custom specifically for drinking alone. You're supposed to do it while loafing around in your underpants, and it's called
Your
kalsari kani, also known as underwear drunk.
Huh.
All right, that's all I could find on Finland. So off to Canada. To get there, I booked us a private fishing trawler. It's so exclusive that even these fish, yes, they go to a private school.
Oh boy.
In Newfoundland, Canada, they have the Newfoundland Screech.
Screech, huh?
You take a shot of Screech, and then you do the Screech. Goes like this.
Is you a screecher? And then you answer like this. Deed I am, me old cock, and long may your big jib jaw. That's it.
It's a pirate culture. Then they take a big fish, usually a cod, and they kiss it on the lips.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm kind of busy, so there's no more customs anywhere in the world. You can do some more, maybe independent research yourself. I'll see you back in the field.
Need a minute. Well, there's that drink tradition. See what else
Okay, this next section is on cocktails. So
Cocktails, huh?
it all started when we made this asset where the Irish character, he's shaking a cocktail at a frat party, and I turned to the editor and I went, wait a minute, that's a weird word. Why are they called cocktails? And we started Googling it, and we kind of went down a rabbit hole, and it was actually really interesting. So, here it is.
Let's go.
Cocktails.
Here it comes.
In the 1700s, fuel prices were outrageous. So,
Low or high?
everybody used the horse. Now, horses weren't just used for travel, they were also used for work in the fields. So you would sometimes put a harness on a horse for plowing a field, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you do that, its tail actually gets in the way, and so we have to do something about that thing. Think of it like the foreskin of the horse. You put it in the guillotine, and everybody closes their eyes. Problem solved.
No, I don't
Now,
think that works.
this practice is called docking.
Oh.
It has
Oh,
a
you actually
different
do cut off
meaning
the tail?
these days.
Oops. Ooh.
So once the tail is docked, some say it's much easier to clean. But it also kind of looks like a chicken's tail, right? Hence, they would call these tails cocktails.
Okay.
So
but
that's step
how's
one
that
in the
go-
story. Step
How
two.
did that go to the
You've
drink,
also
though?
got horse merchants, right? And
Okay,
they
the
are
horse
a
sellers.
very shrewd bunch. They know that when they sell their horses, the customer wants very feisty and energetic animals.
Yahoo!
Someone who's buying a horse doesn't want one that's kind of sickly or lazy or sleeping all the time, right? They need
Fair.
it for work. So how do you ensure then that your horse looks full of beans and moxie and some other stuff and has the maximum horsepower possible when it's time to sell? Well, they would use this one quick hack. All the equestrians hate him. They would go over to their mortar and pestle, and they would throw in some chili, some ginger, and a few other spices, and just mix it all together. Then they would go over to the horse, hold still, little fella, and
Wait,
with the
you're
mixture
kidding me.
go up into the no-no area.
Oh!
Now,
Youch!
the horse doesn't like that very much,
Yow.
so it's kicking, it's going mad, and the bidders are all going, wow, this is a really great horse. It's got some
Yikes,
spunk, I
poor
tell ya.
horses.
I'm buying it. So the horse merchants,
Yikes. I mean, literally up the bum? I'm not gonna say anything, but that reminds me of the Stooges short, like, playing the horse, playing the pony or something, I think. I mean, at least there they fed the horse, not like, whoop. Sheesh. Poor horse. Ay, ay, ay. But wouldn't the seller be like, hey, wait a minute. He ain't anything since I saw him back at the show? Yikes. Anyway, moving along.
made a whole bunch of money. And everyone was happy. Well,
Except for the horses, yeah.
almost everyone. The end.
But
On step
seriously.
2. Now
There
step
you go,
3.
yeah.
Around the same time, you've got
So, where does the drink come
bartenders
in?
over in the saloon, and they have just invented the science of mixology. They've realized that you can add Red Bull and lemon juice to stuff and actually make alcohol not taste so bad.
AKA
But
the burn.
when they added some ginger and spices and maybe a little bit of pepper, people went, oh, I know these. These are those horse suppositories.
Oh.
Cocktails, we'll call them. Glug, 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 glug. And the name stuck.
Huh. Okay. There it is. Yikes.
Do you think it's too early for ad time? I don't think it's too early
Too
for
bad. Ad time.
Oh no, help me, Incogni Man. I signed up for discounts at a retail store and they won't stop sending me messages. Huh? I signed up to that website years ago. Why are they still spamming me?
Uh-oh.
That would be my doing. I am data-based man.
Who will stop him?
Right.
It's me, Incogni Man.
Welcome back.
Incogni is the brilliant service that tells a whole bunch of databases and people who have your data and
Buzz
stuff
off.
to get fucking lost. It says, hey, do you have this email address? Well, lose it. Hey, marketer man, you can't use this phone number anymore. Instead of chasing them all up manually by signing up to Incogni, they send these legal requests on your behalf to get you deleted from the internet.
Let us do battle in my realm.
And then we teleport to the desert.
I better follow him. Incogni portal.
Good of you to finally join us.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna stop you. Incogni lawyer powers, legal threats, data removal tools, Consumer Privacy Act, data protection regulations, polite yet stern wording. It has created a Gundam. So go to
Surprised it wasn't like
incogni.com/incognito.
Voltron, okay.
Sign up today and get 60% off an annual plan. I won't change numbers. I won't change email addresses. I'll just simply take them back. I can feel it working. My phone isn't ringing as often. My email inbox, it's less full with just a whole bunch of shit. And then like the sun,
There we go.
the clouds clear.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Voices are getting too light. I'm floating away.
Bye.
He'll die of the cold eventually.
Jeez.
Pan up and it's Nordman. He's like,
Nordman.
not bad, kid. Not bad at all.
Good job.
So go
kid.
to incogni.com/incognito. Sign up today and get 60% off an annual plan. Ad over. Have you heard about the latest dangerous trend? It's all over social media. Wine mixed with watermelon. A combination when mixed together makes a deadly poison. Here we are in Argentina with a delicious watermelon. Now let me chase it down with a glass of wine. Okay, it's not true.
Yeah, true.
But it's been
Not
a
that
myth in
bad.
South America for over 100 years that you should never pair wine and watermelon together.
Is
No
it
one
the
quite
seed, or
knows
what's
why.
going on there?
But we dug and we were able to find a single source from an author, Facundo de Genova. And he says, in probably Argentina, probably sometime in the 1800s, there was a small Catholic church and everything was great. For a time. They grew wine for dinner and watermelon for dessert. Until one day, something bad happened in their idyllic little town. A few men in the village started getting a bit
Turn on.
grabby. It was a whole Me Too thing, but it was the first Me Too. It was a Me one. No one quite knows who did what to whom, but it was a big scandal, I tell you. And it kept happening,
Oh no, what's happening to our beautiful village?
they said in their funny foreign accents. Now, presiding over the village was a monastery. So the priests all gathered together at this monastery to figure out what the hell's going on with all this grabbiness,
Yeah, this town sucks now.
said the women folk.
I hope you have the plan to fix this.
Yes, of course we do. But first, we must figure out why the men are becoming so grabby. Come on, guys, think outside the box. We have to find something, anything to blame, except the people who actually did the thing. So the priests began looking at
Yeah, that does sound like about the time, you know? I mean, if it ain't the, well, poison, it's usually, I mean, if it ain't the problem itself, aka the men being grab happy, it's, oh, it's, you've been floozy up, or something like that. I can imagine that.
What time you have work today?
2:30,
2:30 to what?
10.
Are you gonna eat here? Are you gonna eat dinner here?
I'll eat lunch here, yeah.
You're not gonna eat dinner here.
No,
Okay. What are you gonna do for dinner?
I'll figure something out.
Well, why don't you just? I'm making tacos, so why don't you just eat here?
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'll have lunch here.
Dinner.
Like I say, I don't work till 10. Can I get back to my recording, please?
Yeah, I had another question for you.
What?
Working.
10 o'clock.
Have you eaten breakfast?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you gonna do for lunch? Just find something in the fridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, no problem. Bye. Sorry about that. It's just being noisy. Anyway, moving along.
At the diets of the people in the village. The priest said aloud. One of the monks proposed a theory. Have you noticed that we grow a lot of grapes here? Yes. And have you noticed that we also grow a lot of watermelon?
Where's this going?
Well, what if, somehow it makes the men folk grabby? That must be it. We must put a stop to this. But how? Well, let's tell them that if they drink wine and eat watermelon, they'll go to hell. Okay, so that's what they did. Hear ye, do not drink wine and then eat watermelon. You'll go to hell. Oh, really? Really? I don't know that. Maybe it's really. And it worked. Huh. The assaults suddenly stopped. Hurrah!
For now.
Although whether that was a coincidence, we don't actually know. Over time, however, the messaging kind of evolved. Because don't mix wine with watermelon isn't exactly a well-known Bible proverb, and people became less religious. So instead of, you'll go to hell, the line changed to, it's poison and you'll die. And in Argentina, in some places, the myth still perpetuates. Now, is there actually any evidence at all?
Probably not.
That pairing wine and watermelon together really causes the mood? Kinda. Watermelon contains an amino acid, arginine, which partially transforms into nitric oxide, and then nitric oxide is a vasodilator. And vasodilators do this.
Yeah,
Plus, wine also has polyphenols, and that also helps in the formation of nitric oxide, so double this.
Yeah.
But the effect from nitric oxide is actually very mild. Also, all of these foods have polyphenols and arginine in them as well. So pretty much everything has it. So, no, the effects are likely hugely overstated. So,
sounds about
the
right.
moral of the story is...
ignore what you see the church, I guess. There's no moral. All right.
This next section is on wine in the Bible. Sort of. Apologies if we got any details wrong. We mostly kept this section because we liked the pun on Eucharist.
Of course.
Jumping forward to Jesus. This is his first recorded miracle.
John 2, 1
So,
through 11.
Jesus and a whole bunch of his followers and stuff, they are invited to a wedding in Cana. Now, the waiter goes over to serve some guests some wine, and... uh-oh.
It's empty.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it's empty.
There's no more wine.
No, wait, I've got a plan, says Jesus. Bring me 6 big stone jugs, about 20 to 30 gallons each, and fill them up to the brim with H2O. Now, check out this. And he does the finger thing. And then when they went to pour the water, suddenly it was wine. And it was the best wine that anyone had ever had. And they go, oh, that's pretty good, Jesus. But have you got any other miracles? And he says, yes. Come on, we're going to do a supper. Now, everyone is gathered around, and this is the point at which Jesus reveals, by the way, one of you is very sus. I know one of you will betray me. And he looks at Judas, and Judas is kind of looking away. But then Da Vinci's like,
guys, I need you to stay still for the painting.
So Jesus goes, watch this. And he takes some bread and wine, and he says, look at this bread. This is my flesh. And everyone's kind of like, really? And he goes, well, yeah.
Symbolically, but
if you're Protestant, then just metaphorically. No, okay, look at this wine. It is my blood. Really? Quit making this so complicated. Here, have some. So he hands it to his disciples, and they went, fantastic. I was peckish and thirsty. And he goes, yes, in fact, I shall call this little celebration a Eucharist, or Holy Communion. It will be the practice of eating one cracker or piece of bread and drinking some wine. And if you eat the whole thing and drink the whole bottle, that's called a huge Eucharist. Now, most Christians today take that as a symbolic thing. Unless you are Catholic. Now, they believe in what's called transubstantiation, which means that the bread and wine literally turns into the body and blood of Jesus at the moment that they are consumed. However, it does still look like bread and wine, and they call that phenomenon appearance or accident. It has changed, but you just can't tell, except for sometimes when you actually can. Lanciano, Italy, in the 8th century, there is a monk, and he has been on r/atheism for far too long. He is starting to have doubts about the blood and wine stuff, but he still has his monkly responsibilities. So, he holds mass, and he says the words of consecration, "This is my body, this is my blood, this is my rifle, this is my gun," and at that very moment, the bread turns into literal flesh in his hands. And the wine turned to blood.
Jesus, man.
Holy shit, said everybody in unison. And ironically, he went, "Oh, well, I should probably not eat this then." So instead, he kept it in this chalice thing. What is it? A clock? Anyway, there it remains still today, kept in the Church of San Francesco. And now, a couple of years later, in the 1970s, Professor Odaro Leone decides, let me do a bit of an experiment. So he took a sample of the flesh, and he came to the conclusion that it was indeed real. Apparently, it was part of a heart valve, and that the blood type was AB. The sample has not been analyzed since. However, it is officially recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. Here ends the reading.
Okay, the fact that the bread actually did turn into flesh, or in this case, part of the heart, like, huh? I mean, okay, how did that happen? You think miracles just come to people who are just having a crisis of faith? I think I just see the trend here. Anyone else? I don't know if we all have to lose our faith to get these miracles, but I don't know. It just seems like the story, doesn't it? Let me know if you guys see that too or not. Anyway.
Now you might say, wow, that section really doesn't have a whole lot to do with wine. And in fact, you're just badly retelling a Bible story.
I did.
This final section we started making for the main channel when we found this massive court document, and we thought, holy shit, this is a hell of a story. And we had all these ideas of it being like Witcher themed, and so there were quite a few like random Witcher assets, just ignore that. But it just kept blooming and blooming into this bigger story, and it got too long. And so here it is on incognito. And here we begin in 1743.
So where
the
we at?
birth of Thomas Jefferson. Push, Mrs. Jefferson, push.
Thomas?
Now, Tom Jeff.
Yeah.
He was involved with some politics, kinda sexy, but you're too late, he's dead.
Oof.
But what's more important is he tried his hand at a lot of different hobbies. Architecture. He designed his own home in Monticello. He played the violin. He kept mockingbirds. He collected fossils. And, most relevant of all, he hoarded a culture. In his extensive garden, he kept 330 types of vegetables and 170 types of fruit. One of those fruits was grapes. So he tried his hand at viniculture. And while he was good at a lot of things, he never saw much success with making wine. So he mostly collected the stuff. Now, people naturally wondered, like, hey, what happened to the wine he made and the wine he collected? Did he sell it all? Did he give it away? Did he attempt the huge caress? Fast forward, 1985. Meet German music producer Hardy Rodenstock. He is an avid wine collector, and he's tapping on the walls of old buildings in Paris looking for some national treasures. On this occasion, the wall opened and, my God. Sealed behind, he said that he found a collection of 24 bottles, dating all the way back to the 1780s, and look at that. THJ engraved right there on the glass. Thomas Jefferson. It seems like Mr. Rodenstock has stumbled upon Jeff's hidden collection. Mystery solved. And it would make sense that they wound up in France because Jefferson spent a number of years over there. Amazing.
Okay.
And into Rodenstock's wine collection, they went. Now, Rodenstock's wine collection was something quite special, and he liked to show it off. So every year he would host tasting events that featured extremely rare wines. And he would invite all the most prominent German celebrities, such as the Hans brothers, and Das Boot, and Death Stranding. Now, one of his guests was a guy named Michael Broadbent, the senior director for Christie's auction house. Together, they cracked open one of the THJ bottles. Bottle number 1. Broadbent said that the wine was delicious. Yup, these bottles are in perfect condition, he said. You should really auction these things. I run an auction, you should put them in there. Huh, maybe I should, said Mr. Rodenstock.
I guess we're about to see how many bottles.
But before they did that, they sold 2 of the bottles privately, number 2 and number 3, and they drank a 4th. On the 5th of December 1985, they put up bottle number 5 for auction at Christie's. It was bought by Christopher Forbes for £105,000, which at the time meant it was the most expensive bottle of wine ever sold. But that wine wasn't to drink. Proudly, that thing sat on the Forbes shelf, eventually to be put into the Forbes Gallery in the exhibit on former presidents.
Okay.
And funnily enough, they actually put this bottle on display under big industrial lights, and it heated the thing something fierce. And the heat ruined its drinkability, of course.
Oops.
In fact, so intense was the light that the glass expanded and the cork fell into the bottle. Some time passed.
So that's a whoops.
They celebrated the sale with another
number
drink.
6.
Bottle number 6, now gone.
Wait,
And then they sold 2 more privately.
8? Okay.
In 1987, they drank bottle
9.
number 9. In 1988, they drank bottle
10.
number 10. And at this point, a new challenger enters the scene. The White Wolf of Palm Beach. They call him Bill Koch. Some say it's short for billionaire. He's a member of one of the wealthiest families in America. And he is also one of the world's most avid collectors of wine. So, they sell him a total of
12,
4
13,
bottles
14.
for $311,804. We're way over here on the graph at this point.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, gently, careful now, he put them in his climate-controlled cellar. And he would show them off to his friends. Otherwise, here they remained for the next 17 years. As the years ticked by, more bottles were sold and more bottles were consumed, until there were none left. 2005. The 4 Coke bottles had sat around for a long time on the shelf, doing nothing.
Okay.
When something new happened.
Oh.
The Boston Museum of Fine Arts was interested in displaying the bottles and wanted to trace the exact provenance.
Why not?
So Coke gets on the line with the Jefferson Foundation and he goes, look, I don't mean to brag, but I'm about to have my bottles displayed at the Boston Museum. But I need just a little bit of verification. Could you tell me exactly where these bottles come from? And the Thomas Jefferson Foundation responded, I'm afraid we can't do that. We don't think they're real.
Eh?
Yeah. In fact, you're not the only person to call about this.
Really?
What? Yes, it was in the 80s. A Mr. Broadbent, I believe, of Christie's auction house called up trying to verify the bottles so that he could sell them. But we looked through our comprehensive historical records and found no mention of these bottles.
Uh-oh.
Here's a letter we sent saying that we couldn't verify them. Oof. And they're probably fake. But he sold those bottles to me.
Uh-oh, here comes the lawsuit.
Back to 1776. Now here's a thing you should know about Jefferson. Let's just say if he was around today, he would play a lot of Factorio. He was, you know.
I have the largest collection of Funko Pops in the world.
And that meant that his record keeping was very meticulous. All of his anime was ordered alphabetically. And so too were all the things that he ever purchased.
The wine.
Including wine.
Right.
So that's my story, Mr. Pepsi. And those bottles are probably fake. When Coke hears about this, he hangs up the phone and hits speed dial on his pager or something, and I need to assemble a team of investigators. Mr. Rodenstock lived in Germany, so Coke's investigators scoured the countryside for clues, and eventually they found a lead. they managed to track down 5 German residents who claimed to have done engraving work for Rodenstock in the past. They said, hey, have you seen these bottles before? And they went, oh yeah, we have. We did those. And all 5 were certain that the THJ engravings were done by an electric power tool. Every one of these 24 bottles of Jefferson wine were fake. Big fat phonies. Allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. So, Bill takes all of this evidence to court, and Rodenstock is summoned, but he doesn't show up. So Bill wins in absentia and is awarded $1 million. In the end, Bill never received any money from Rodenstock. But to Bill, it was about sending a message more than receiving any money.
I'm coming after you.
And it's just one battle of many that Bill has fought against counterfeit wine. In 2008, Coke filed a consumer fraud lawsuit against the Chicago Wine Company, which was later settled out of court. Another time, Coke spent $3.5 million buying nearly 2,700 bottles of wine from Zacky's auction house. Almost a third of $1 million worth was fake. The auction house settled out of court, but the seller was told to pay $379,000 in damages and another $1,000 for every bottle. But then the next day they went, you know what, we thought about it. This jury has decided to award you $12 million in punitive damages.
Damn.
Jackpot, said Mr. Coke. I'm rich. But a year later, the court changed its mind and awarded Coke only $711,000.
Oops.
Okay, so this guy's like a one-man army, and he's going around trying to scare the shit out of anyone who's selling fake wine. Oh, you've got expensive rare wine, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll buy it then. Yeah, but no, yeah, I'll buy it. No, it's fine. It's genuine, is it? Yeah, you're saying it's genuine. Yeah, definitely. And then he goes and he inspects it, then finds it's fake, and then goes, yeah, I knew all along, stupid. Lawsuit time. By doing this, he's very slowly cleaning up the market. After all of these investigations, Bill has spent around $35 million tracking down fake wine. But by 2016, Coke was ready to lay down his weapons. He sold off a big chunk of his collection, and it sold for $22 million. Which means he likely did not break even. So consider giving to his GoFundMe.
Poor Bill.
Now, this is actually just a very small part of the story. This scandal ended up making such waves across the wine industry that they decided to make a movie about it. Based on the Benjamin Wallace book, The Billionaire's Vinegar. And it was set to star Brad Pitt. No, wait. Now it's Matthew McConaughey. No, wait. It looks like it's cancelled.
Again? Wallace in the bow. Okay. That makes sense a lot of times.
Alright, that's the video. Thanks for watching. 4 more to go, but we've already started in on the regular type stuff in case you don't love fancy. Okay, bye. And don't forget...
Yep. So, where to go? I still gotta do the one over on the main channel when I get the chance. So, let me know what you guys think. Till next time, like, subscribe for more. Yeah, sorry for the interruption with Caitlin. Till next time, adios.